fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast, so if you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot, turn this off before you get butthurt and mad, start to cry, have to run to your safe space. All opinions are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any government agency. Welcome to another edition of MOTORCOP Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Dice Man. Unfortunately, it's that time of the month, once again, and to watch. Let's get the other stuff out the way. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the bell, so you can get notified when we do the live shows on Wednesday. So with that out the way, I know I didn't put out my Sunday episode. Didn't have a guest, and really didn't have any stories, any news stories. Anyway, I'm gonna put out there what I may do on days that I don't have really any stories to talk about or any guest or anything. I might just throw in a couple news stories and maybe talk about that, and maybe I'll remember something over the past 20-something years and throw a short story in with that also. So I won't just not have anything out there. So that's a thought. So let's get on with the, excuse my sinuses, still messed up ever since I had COVID. We talked about that also. So I apologize for the sniffling. So end of watch for November. Hope everyone did have a safe and happy Thanksgiving and Turkey Day. Me and Bam spent it with each other. I fried a little turkey breast up, and we did a ham and some yams and some stuff and stuff. It was just me and her. Some of them, the kids had to work. Some of them were out of town. Some were with their mother, and a whole bunch of family was out of town. So it was just me and her. So we did this our own little turkey day and had a nice quiet day. I hope everybody else's was uneventful and no one had any Jerry Springer moments. Anyway, then to watch for November, which is way better news than the last few months. November was only, I say only, but there was, compared to the rest of them, there was 17 that were reported to the site that I use, which is Officer Down Memorial page. So 17. And if y'all remember last month in October it was 51. And then September and August they were both in the 80s. So that's way better. 17 is so much better than 51. Still too many, but it's a hell of an improvement. And from the stats I'm looking at, the most dangerous state to be a police officer in for laying the line of duty death is Texas. They had 85. That's the worst one so far is Texas. So let's start with our 17. Like I said, I'm not going to go into stories and stuff like that on the end of watch ones. I don't know, don't feel appropriate doing that. So let's get started. Sergeant Timothy Werner is from the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police. His end of watch day was Tuesday, November the 2nd, 2021. His cause of death was COVID-19. So for at least most of it's gone, the COVID, but it's obviously still out there. So Still has some officers dying from it. The next was Detective Sergeant Gary R. Taccone from Erie Police Department, Pennsylvania. And the watch was November 3rd. It was a Wednesday. He also died from COVID-19. We have Deputy Sheriff John Edward Moon from Waller County Sheriff's Office in Texas. And to watch Wednesday, November 3rd. Also COVID-19. Senior Patrolman Sherman Otto. Like I said, I don't know how to pronounce all these last names. I think it's Benny's Jr. from Kingsville Police Department, Texas. It was end of watch was Thursday, November 4th, 2021. Cause of death was gunfire. Said Senior Patrolman Sherman succumbed to his gunshot wound sustained 3 days earlier while responding to a domestic dispute on the 300 block of South Wanda in Kingsville. When Patrolman Sherman and another officer arrived at the scene, the male suspect opened fire on them, striking Patrolman Sherman and prompting the two officers to return fire. The subject fled the scene, was apprehended by officers, and taken into custody. Senior Patrolman Sherman had served with the Kingsville Police Department for 20 years. He's survived by his wife, son, and 2 daughters. Gave up his life over, for someone. Piece of trash person that gonna beat on his wife and stuff, and then end up doing that. Unfortunately, bad guy didn't die. Yeah, waste on taxpayers. Next is Border Patrol Agent Anibal A. Perez, United States Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection, United States Border Patrol, U.S. End of watch was November 5th, 2021. Cause of death was COVID. Sergeant Scott M. Patton, Robinson Township Police Department, PA. End of watch November 6th, 2021. Cause of death was COVID. PA had a bad month for officer deaths, it looks like. Deputy Sheriff Lena Nicole Marshall, Jackson County Sheriff's Office, Georgia. End of watch was Monday, November 8th, 2021. Cause of death was gunfire. Deputy Sheriff Lena Marshall succumbed to her gunshot wound sustained 3 days earlier while responding to a domestic call at 6416 Highway 124 in Houston. As she and another deputy contacted someone in the home, a woman opened fire on them, wounding Deputy Marshall. Deputy Marshall's partner returned fire and killed the woman. Deputy Marshall was transported to a local hospital where she succumbed to her wound. She had served with Jackson County Sheriff's Office for almost 2 years and had previously served with the Barrow County Sheriff's Office, Winder Police Department, and Helen Police Department. She is survived by her 2 daughters, a son, and 2 sisters and 2 brothers. She was 49 years old, total 10 years on the job. It's just, and there we went right there for another domestic, domestic violence. This was a female that did it. At least the bad guy didn't survive. Bad girl, however you want to call it. They can burn in hell. The next person is police officer. Now I'm gonna slaughter this poor man's name. Parhamnins Desi. Like I said, I apologize for that. Henry County Police Department, Georgia. End of watch was on November 8th, 2021. He also died of gunfire. Said he succumbed to his gunshot wound sustained at about 6 p.m. on November 4th while responding to a domestic violence call near the intersection of Keys Ferry Road and Floresta Drive. The officer was transported to Grady Memorial Hospital, where he remained on life support until he succumbed to his wounds on November 8th. He continued to serve his community after his passing by having multiple organs donated. The subject who shot the officer fled the area and remained at large for 5 days. He committed suicide after barricading himself inside of a home in Clayton County as officers attempted to take him into custody. The officer had previously served with the DeKalb County Police Department and the Georgia Department of Corrections. He's survived by his wife and 2 young children. He was 38 years old. They don't have a tour time listed on him. Young man, 38. Another domestic situation where a police officer died. At least this coward went ahead and took his own life and saved people a bunch of time. Domestic abusers are just scum in my book. I mean, that they rated down there with pedophiles. So the next person is Sergeant Dominic Gaida, Bunnell Police Department, Florida. And the watch was Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. He died of a heart attack. Lieutenant Chad Brackman, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office in Arizona. And the watch was Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. Cause of death, he was struck by a vehicle. It says Lieutenant Chad Brackman was struck and killed by a vehicle while directing traffic near the intersection of North 87th Street and North Pima Road in Scottsdale. He was working an overtime assignment, and about 11 a.m. when he was struck, he was transported to the Honor Health Scottsdale Osborne, where he succumbed to his injuries a short time later. Lieutenant Braxton served with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office for 22 years and was assigned to the Lake Patrol Division. He is survived by his wife, 2 children, and 2 stepchildren. Mr. Brackman was 47 years old, had 22 years on the force, and lost his life probably somebody not paying attention or texting and driving. That's just a guess. But man lost his life for it. I have directed a lot of traffic, and I've only been hit several times. I've been lucky, but it could be pretty it's pretty scary when you see a 3,000-4,000 pound missile heading right at you with somebody not paying attention. And so, if you're out there, pay attention while you're driving. Put your damn phones down before somebody does get hurt like that poor man did. Next one is Detective Michael J. Dion of Chicopee Police Department, Massachusetts, Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. He died of a heart attack. We have Corrections Officer V. Kevin Dupree, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Correctional Institutions Divisions of Texas. And the watch was November the 11th, 2021. He died of COVID. Police Officer Michael D. Chandler, Big Stone Gap Police Department, Virginia, and the watch was Saturday, November 13th, 2021. He died of gunfire. This guy's picture, he looks, well, he was young, that's why. Police Officer Michael Chandler was shot and killed while performing a welfare check at a vacant home in the 2500 block of Orr Street. He was flagged down by a citizen at about 4 a.m. who asked him to check on a person who was inside of the home. When he arrived on the scene, he encountered a subject and was shot. A deputy with the Wise County Sheriff's Office located Officer Chandler in a ditch along the home's driveway. He was transported to a community hospital and then flown to Johnson City Medical Center in Tennessee, where he succumbed to his wounds at about 7 p.m. The piece of shit that shot him was arrested in Kingsport, Tennessee at about 8 p.m. after being located at a motel by members of the state, local, and federal law enforcement officers. It was determined the man was wanted for probation violations in Wise County, Virginia, as well as in South Carolina. The incident occurred on Officer Chandler's 29th birthday. In addition to serving with the Big Stone Gap Police Department, he also served as a volunteer with the Big Stone Gap Fire Department. He was 29 years old. Don't say his tour of duty. His badge number was 512. Piece of shit in custody. Young man lost his life way too early. It don't say if he was married or anything like that. Way too early over a piece of shit because he probably didn't want to go back to jail because he was wanted on all these probation violations. Well, I don't know if this state in Virginia has a death penalty or not, but I hope the hell they do and that guy gets it. Master Trooper Daniel A. Steinbrook, I'm not sure how they say it, of Wisconsin State Patrol in Wisconsin. And the watch was Monday, November 15th, 2021. He died of COVID-19. Corrections Officer Rhonda Jean Russell, Blair County Prison, Pennsylvania. And the watch was Wednesday, November 17th. It says cause of gunfire inadvertent. It says Corrections Officer Rhonda Russell was shot and killed after a struggle for her firearm at the holding area of the Central County building at 615 Street. A male inmate attacked and disarmed Officer Russell while waiting for a court hearing. In Altona, a police officer who was in the court building saw the altercation between Officer Russell and the suspect. The suspect had restrained Officer Russell and aimed the weapon at the officer. The officer shot at the suspect, but the suspect moved Officer Russell into the line of fire. She was transported to UPMCA hospital where she succumbed to her wound. The inmate who attacked Officer Russell was charged with murder of the second degree and the murder of a law enforcement officer. Second degree. Officer Russell had served 16 years with the Blair County Prison. She is survived by her 3 sons, her fiance, and parents. She was 47 years old, 16 years serving. So it sounds like that she was hit by friendly fire, maybe the inmate pushing her in front of something. So that's sad. Deputy Sheriff Frank Ramirez Jr., Independence County Sheriff's Office, to Arkansas. He ended watch was Thursday, November 18th, 2021. Cause of death was an automobile crash. He was 29 years old. He'd been on the job for 2 years, 5 months. His badge number was 121. Said it was a single vehicle crash on Highway 14 about 12:50 a.m. He was driving eastbound during a period of rain, responding to a call for assistance when his vehicle left the roadway and a curve and became airborne. He survived by his wife, a son, and a daughter. They had to be very small children because he's not very old himself. So he died in a car crash. And the last one for this month, people-wise, is Code Enforcement Officer Adam Ray Arbogast, Parsons Police Department, West Virginia, and the watch was November 25th, and he died of COVID. I think there's one K9, yes, unfortunately, K9 Rogue, the Cedar Park Police Department in Texas. End of watch was November 8th, 2021. Says his cause of death was a heart attack. It says he had a heart attack while performing training exercises. He was a 9-year-old Belgian Malinois, been on duty for 7 years. So always good to our K9 friends out there. They put their lives in harm's way all the time to protect their trainer. So, unfortunately, we still had some, but like I said, on the good part, it was only 17. And several of those were from COVID. Pennsylvania had a really bad month. And how many of these officers died of gunshots that you never... We had, 3? 3 or 4 died from being shot, and you didn't hear about any of those on the news. Didn't make the news. I guess when a cop gets killed, it's not important anymore. That's why I'm putting it out there, so everybody that does listen will at least know. So keep those families, officers and deputies, and police officers, families in your heart and mind. If you're the praying type, say a prayer for them, and thank you for your service, all of y'all. So come back tomorrow. We'll have our live show, me and Holstera. Of course, we're going to have some news stories and some opinions, and hopefully we'll be able to make y'all laugh in the process of it. So until tomorrow, watch yourself, watch your back, watch your partner's back, and remember to smile, because the Iceman could always be behind you.